Season 1, Episode 1.
Podcast. I'm Holden.
I'm Sergio.
What's going on, Serge?
Nothing, man. Just chilling.
You a little nervous?
Yeah, a little bit. You?
No, not really.
Nice.
Alcohol cures that a little bit.
That's true.
All right, man. So we started this whole thing for one reason and one reason only.
What's that?
To get girls.
Okay. We already got one, so we good.
Yeah. She's not gonna be happy hearing that one.
No worries.
All right, man. So, all right. Apparently, what we first started this whole thing about for this first episode is we're gonna kind of introduce ourselves, talk about how we met, how much we dislike each other.
Yeah.
Which is a lot.
That's true. It was rough in the beginning, man.
Yeah. But, yeah, we're just going to kind of ask each other some questions, interview, give some people who don't know us some opportunity to know us and kind of what the podcast is all about. So I'll start with Serge since he's the most nervous one.
Me? Yeah. I don't know where to start, man.
All right, let's start why you moved to Casper.
So I first moved here probably like 8 years ago. I moved here because I got an internship with this company I work for. I work for a small like independent oil company right now. So I interned for them for 2 summers while I was in college, Colorado School of Mines by Denver. And then whenever I graduated, they offered me a full-time, so took it, came up here. And at first, it was pretty rough for me, man. Just like
Why?
living up here. I don't know, because I didn't
Casper?
really. Yeah,
Because of the shock, huh?
Well, yeah, smaller town and everything, but like I really didn't really know that many people and stuff. So in the beginning and all the people I work with, they're all older. So
You are like, that's the one thing that I've always thought was kind of strange because every time we go out, you're like the young guy in the midst of like a huge crowd of like old dudes.
Yeah, because at that point in time, I was like one of the youngest people in the company and stuff like that. So,
But that's got to feel like a little bit fulfilling because you're young and at a point where like most people your age aren't.
that's true.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, that has to draw a lot of respect from their eyes towards you, I feel like.
Yeah. A lot of them are surprised like I stayed here for that long too. A lot of people thought I would
Because you're
have
young and looking for some,
yeah, for sure.
for some stuff.
Yeah. True. So I don't know. Yeah, a lot of people are surprised and stuff like that. But anyways, yeah, moving to Casper, I found a good group of friends, and it took a while for me. I would get like homesick and stuff like that because I really didn't know anybody, and then I like to like hang out with people, and like just being stuck inside was like kind of rough. But
You're an extrovert.
extrovert that's introverted.
Yeah, 100%.
I could say that, but yeah, no, found a good group of friends and stuff like that. Started hanging out, and then that's kind of what makes
welcome.
it. Yeah, it's kind of what's made it like more manageable and stuff like that. So, I don't know if I should talk about anything else.
I think that was probably a good start.
Yeah. What about yourself, man? What brought you here?
Well, I think I came here 10 years ago from Florida,
Yeah.
and I moved to Florida when I was younger to live with my mom, but I didn't have any other family there, so all my family lived in Colorado. My sister, my brother, stuff like that. So when my parents had said it was between here or Sierra Vista, Arizona, here was kind of like a solid choice because I was closer to my dad's side of the family and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was also during the recession. And there really just wasn't any work out there. So I jumped on that idea of moving here. Plus, at that age, oh my God, I was crazy.
Yeah.
You know,
I've seen some videos and heard some stories, so we'll talk about those later in a different episode.
Yeah, all I wanted to do was, start over, meet new people, and see what kind of adventures I could, find myself getting mixed up in. And
Right. Was it a shock to you coming to a super small town and
dude,
everything?
I'm glad that you asked that because no bullshit. Like, so my brother and I drove to Colorado first. And when we drove to Colorado first, we spent some time with, our families because we have different dads.
Mm-hmm.
And then my brother decided to stay a little bit longer, and I decided to drive up by myself. Well, it's like, I don't know, maybe midnight, 1 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm on I-25 and I'm like pulling into Casper. Well, I get off at like the Hat 6 exit.
Right.
And like from Hat 6, you really can't see
No.
what like Casper is, right?
Not, especially in the dark. There's nothing out there.
No, you can't see for shit. And so like I'm pulling up to this exit and I'm like, what did I just do? Like I gotta go.
Yeah, for sure.
I was like, I'm gonna be here through the weekend, rest up, and I'm driving back to Florida. Like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, one and done.
Yeah. And honestly, interesting thing. So like, I'm looking for the hotel, and we stayed at the Come On In.
Yeah.
And I'm looking for the hotel, and like, I don't the place across from Kagencork where it's got the bridge or whatever. I think I ended up on that road somehow, and I end up freaking seeing some dude that like got pulled over.
Oh shit.
And so I'm like skeptically pulling over and like trying to ask the cops where I'm going.
That cop's like, what the fuck you doing here, bruh?
Yeah, why are you from Florida? I had Florida plates and everything.
Oh shit.
Dude. I was like, this dude's gonna think I got drugs. Or like,
So you drove up all the way from Florida then?
yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't catch that part.
Yeah, my brother and I, like, we thought of it as like an opportunity to like bond, as well as like kind of sightsee on the way down. So we
Gotcha.
stopped at like a bunch of places and whatnot. So that was fun. But anyway, so I asked the cop where I'm supposed to go, because back then, like, the phones, we didn't have iPhones like this.
Yeah,
you know,
for
the
sure.
GPS was kind of janky, you know,
Oh,
whatever.
100%.
Especially here.
Oh, yes. I feel you. Yeah. One time I got lost in Denver when I was in college. I had to like pull over the side of the highway because I was going to go somewhere. I can't remember. I had to call my mom because there's no Google Maps or anything. I was like, yo, get on MapQuest or whatever. And then give me directions because I fucking took the wrong exit or whatever. So, but anyways, yeah. Good times back then.
Yeah. So, skipping past that part. So I end up here, and we were remodeling the house we were moving into, and
Your mom's house now?
no,
Oh,
this is the
okay.
one before that. And like, I'm 19, just moving to a new place, so yeah. I lived with my parents, and we lived there for virtually like 3 months, and I think for like a month and a half or 2 months of that, like, I didn't really know anybody. Like, I was talking to chicks on like, MySpace and stuff back then,
Creeping.
or Facebook, or no, yeah, MySpace. MySpace was a thing back then.
Hell yeah, dude.
And so I was
Top 8.
Yeah, I was. I miss it.
Yeah.
Every day. And so anyway, I was like talking to some girls, and like everyone's still, skeptical of me or whatever. Well, I end up like, I'm drinking and I'm underage, but like, I'm in the hotel. Like, there's
true.
nothing else to do. And obviously in Florida, like, we party a lot and like, do whatever. And so like this one day I come in and I'm like, drinking, and I go outside to smoke a cigarette, and I come back in, and this kid's working the front desk, and he's like, hey man, like, I see that you like to drink, and like, you seem like a cool dude. Why don't you come up on the mountain with me, and I'll introduce you to some people? Like, you've been here long enough, like, you're not a psycho.
Right.
And so I end up saying, yeah, obviously, and go up on the mountain, Casper Mountain, to bear trap, and get there, and there's like all these people here, and like, introduce myself, freaking John Grace,
Yeah.
Dan Kolb.
Nice. A lot of the friend group.
Oh yeah, pretty much some of the friend group. Like, a lot of people have kind of gone their own way, but yeah, so I ended up running into them, and then it just kind of took off from there, and it's been, crazy ever since.
Yeah, for sure.
And then yeah, so that's pretty much it.
That's cool.
It's like a basic story,
Yeah.
So I'm not bored with details.
Yeah,
even
there's
though
like
there
not
were some
too much
details.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the way that I met people, like, I was bored, so like I went shopping at the mall and like I went to Zoomies.
He put on his nicest shoes, by the way. Dude collects shoes.
Yeah, true. But back then I didn't. But yeah, I just went to Zoomies and then I just started talking to like one of the dudes that was working there. He's like, "Hey man, I'm new in town. What do you guys do here for fun or whatever?" And I was like, "It's now my good buddy Ian." But Ian was working there, and then
he worked there after I worked there.
Oh, probably.
'Cause I actually got a job at Zoomies because of Dan Cole.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Shout out Dan.
Shout out Dan Cole.
Yeah, for
Dank.
sure. Yeah, he'll be on
on the podcast here
another
sometime,
episode.
yeah.
But yeah, so Ian, I was like, "Hey man, what do you guys do here in town?" And if you hear that breathing, it's Holden's dog. But
it's definitely not me vaping. It's Brecius.
Yeah, just breathing all hard, just want the loving. But anyways, yeah, so I was like, Ian, I was like, "Hey man, what do you guys do here for fun?" He's like, "I'm actually like throwing a party tonight if you want to come." He's like,
What?
"You seem cool."
It
Yeah.
was literally like the first night.
Not the first night.
No, but like you meet this dude.
Yeah, like first 20 minutes, 10,
You know
20
why
minutes.
he trusted you?
Why?
Because you're Asian. Like you literally have a trusting face.
That's true. And then I was just telling him I was new in town. Ian's cool. He's always been open and inviting for everybody. You know what I mean? So he's like, "Yeah, man. We're having a party at my house tonight. If you want to come or whatever."
Was he living with Womack then?
No, he was in the apartments at Blackmore.
Okay.
He
Yeah, I've
lived
been
by
there.
himself. I think, I can't remember, but that first night, that's kind of where I met everybody. I met like Scoobs and Dustin
Chickatans?
Beach. Chickatans wasn't there, I don't think, but
Oh.
all those guys were there and stuff like that. So ever since then, yeah, I kind of just hung out with that group, and that's kind of how we got into it. And then yeah, started hanging out with them, and then that's kind of how I met Holden and stuff. And then
No, let's tell the real story.
all right, go for it, man.
Let's tell the real story. I met Serge at Galloway's.
Yeah, that's like St. Patty's, I think.
Yeah, I think I was going through like a breakup or something. Like,
I can't remember. I was there with a chick.
if you think I was going through a breakup with someone, who do you think it was with?
Like, you want me to say the name?
No, don't name drop.
Okay.
But you know who I'm talking
Oh,
about.
duh.
Yeah. So I ended up running into Sergio, and there was this like girl that he was like following around like a puppy dog.
Not really.
Yes, he was. Don't listen to him. Yes, he was. That he was fresh and into cougs.
I know, but she wasn't. She was like our age.
I don't even remember her name.
I can't.
Don't
remember.
drop the last name, but like,
I don't remember honestly. I could look it up on Facebook, but she was like a nurse or whatever.
she was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, she ended up being there with Serge, and I met Serge, and I thought he was like the nicest freaking dude like you'd ever meet. And so like he starts talking about it. He's like, "Yeah, I'm trying to like get with this girl." Like, and I'm like, "Bro, you're so nice. Like, she invited me up here. Like, I'm not trying to crush your dreams, but I don't think you got a chance."
Yeah.
And then we didn't really like talk after that
Not
much. It was
really.
always kind of like I saw you out.
Yeah. It
Like,
was
I
just.
and I didn't even remember your name.
Yeah, just mutual acquaintances. Like after that, cause
Yeah. The last thing I would have thought it was Sergio.
yeah, facts.
Like,
Facts. Yeah, somebody that just like reminds me like we were out at a party last weekend and then this girl was like, "Yo, I can't remember your name or whatever." I was like, it's like, "I'll give you 100 guesses, you'll never get it." She's like, "Oh, give me the first letter." It's like, "I'll give you the first 3, you'll still never get it."
that's pretty funny.
But anyways, yeah.
All right, so I met you there, and then I'd seen you, wherever randomly.
Right. Because
And then we'd say
would
what's up.
Yeah, we would float in different circles, but they were mutual.
There's always a mutual one,
Yeah.
yeah. And then we just started hanging out all the time. And I would always give this dude shit. Like I mess with people all the time.
That's true.
All the time. I either prank them or I'm giving them shit. And Sergio ends up being like telling some like our close friends now.
Yeah.
Ends up telling them like, "Oh yeah, Holden's all right, but like
He's a douche.
he's a douchebag. Like, this and that. And so Sergio, and like I kind of felt bad because here I am thinking like, oh well, Sergio's like one of the nicest dudes I've ever met in my life.
It's just his personality, by the way. You get used to it, but
yeah. So I started to chill out.
yeah, and then I got salty and I let it just pour on, man. I was just pouring it on.
It was literally like it burnt like salt on a snail. Like,
I could get gnarly sometimes. I could burn people once the salt starts flowing, man. It's over.
oh, I was pissed.
Yeah, and then he wouldn't say anything either, because
No, I wouldn't even fight back.
that's what I'm saying.
Like I was like, all right, I deserve this. I deserve this. I deserve this. And then I got to a point where I was like, I don't deserve this shit anymore. I'm about to beat the shit out of this kid. Like, how are you going to complain that I'm running my mouth to you and then
That's
you're just
true,
going to destroy me every time?
It's because I was used to it. I was used to just like, we just go back and forth, and then it was just me just hitting you every time, you know what I mean?
You were hitting me hardcore.
Yeah.
I was getting pissed. I was getting mad.
Yeah.
Real mad. I'm still mad about it. Fuck you.
I'm sorry, man. It's
No,
a good
but-
origin story.
Yeah, but no, like, how did that even start? How did we like get past that? I don't even remember.
I think it's because like we at that point in time were hanging out with Steve a lot. I know both of us there, and then I think we just mutually just gave it up. You know what I mean?
I remember when it was.
Oh, okay.
Wasn't it? No, that wasn't it. I was thinking it was that time that we went to the St. Patty's Day crawl, but it wasn't. I know we were at some big event.
Here in town.
Yeah, at Gaslight.
Okay. Oh no, that was
that
we
after?
hung out before. Yeah, that was way after, man.
Was it?
Yeah, that was another story too.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yo, that's name. Okay, yeah, can't name drop though.
Okay, that's fine. You tell the story. That was rough.
No, I'm not gonna tell it now.
Okay,
It's not worth it.
okay.
That's
Another story.
Yeah. Another episode.
If you want to listen to it, yeah. If yeah, just hit us up whenever we post this. Keep bugging us. We'll talk about it. I always hate when podcasts do that. It's like, I can't tell you this story, but blah blah blah.
Oh, it gets the people itching though.
That's true.
Yeah. Oh man. All right. So yeah, somehow we ended up becoming friends.
Yeah.
And then we were really good friends.
Because at that point in time, I think everybody else had like girlfriends and stuff, and I guess you had one, right?
I mean, I guess ish.
Yeah, but
it wasn't ever really like known.
Yeah,
well, everyone else knew.
Yeah.
I never really had a lot of confidence in it.
Well, I'm just saying because like we just go out all the time, and then because we really didn't have. Well, I didn't have anybody like tie me down or hold me back or whatever, so I just did whatever. And then same thing with you. You just go whatever and do whatever because that one person. That's what I'm saying. Because that one person would just always just stay in and never want to go out anyway. So I'd be like, "Yo, you want to?" Or Holden would hit me up and just be like, "Yo, let's go grab a drink or whatever." And that's kind of how it started, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know if she never wanted to go out per se, or if it was she just didn't want to be around my friends.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was more of that than it was her fault of like wanting to stay in. But Jesus, Brees. Go on. I love you, but you gotta go. We're doing something. Go.
Sad face.
Are you sure? She's looking back at me right now. Like,
I don't know.
Okay, I'm gonna go to Sergio.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So we got there. Now we're hanging out all the time, and we had those plans to do like the brewery thing. It was like Steve, you, and I.
Yeah,
we've
thought about like different business endeavors and stuff like that we wanted to do throughout the time, I guess, but nothing ever came through fruition. Just little hobbies and stuff.
Yeah, and this is kind of like a hobby,
yeah,
in a sense, as well as like could lead to something bigger.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, it's just gonna be fun, and we kind of talked about it with two people and stuff like that. You want to tell a story about that, or how the podcast kind of came together?
Well, it was a quiet night on a Sunday. Just got back from mass.
Yeah.
No, what we were doing was always every idea or every crazy thing always stems from drinking.
That's true.
And hopefully this is the one that like doesn't turn out being a bad one.
I don't know. We're already going, so
Yeah.
we started.
And I think it'll be fun. And honestly, like, I don't think either of us would have done this if we didn't get like a good response from everyone that we talked to.
Yeah, that's true. Because, we tested it out and stuff, but that we could talk about that later. Let's talk about how.
Well, no, we're talking about how we're going to get this started. Like,
I guess that's true.
this is relevant. But yeah, so, we tested it out and it seemed like Serge kind of had different ideas than I did.
That's true.
But virtually what we would like to do is kind of make this informational as well as kind of fun. And fun as well as we could do whatever we want. Have our friends on and just, talk and kind of BS and curse a lot and, do whatever.
Just hang out, talk
and just
shit.
hang out, and talk shit.
And then also just talk to people,
Yeah, and then there's a lot of situations of people in Casper and things that have happened to people, especially with like this COVID-19 thing going on and kind of experiencing everything through even my job and this oil field thing that's happened with your job and
markets crash and everything.
Thanks, Breeze. You just ruined the whole podcast. Serge started over.
Yeah.
But no, like, we want to be informational. We want to help people. There's going to be things that I don't want to talk about that Serge is going to want to talk about.
Right. And vice versa.
And vice versa. And, we're going to have to come to some sort of agreement where, Serge can choose to be his introverted self.
Yeah. But I gotta rep for the pod. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of things that we want to talk about. We want to talk about current events and, things that happen in our lives and things that are happening in other people's lives. And just want to kind of keep Casper informed and also give kind of an outreach to people that need help or information that don't have it.
Yeah. And it really doesn't have to be limited to Casper too, just like whoever's listening. Friends, family, whoever.
Yeah,
Randos.
anybody. Yeah, anybody. And obviously the goal is to go, you want other people to hear because you feel like you're talking about things that are relevant.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, so even past that, I feel like that kind of explains everything of what we're trying to do. There will be descriptions and things of what we're talking about. And if you don't want to listen to the thing that we're talking about after you read the description, skip it.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of like a normal, it's like a normal podcast thing.
Right. Plus, you don't know what you're getting into. You might read it and be like, yo, I don't want to listen to this. But you listen to it anyways, and it turns out to be good. And
I do that.
There's going to be jokes and stuff in there anyways. So
I do that with Joe Rogan all the time, dude.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, there are even times where like I'll read the description and I'll think, yeah, I might be into this, but then it might not really kind of catch me, and so I'll switch and I'll go to something else. And virtually our plan is to try and do it once a week.
Yeah, try to get something out once a week unless something happens.
And if we get something where it's worth doing two or whatever, we can.
Or if somebody's in town and we want to talk to them or something.
Yeah, heck yeah. So virtually, like, we're gonna try and cover health, fitness.
Talk about whatever, man.
Current events, anything. So,
yeah, there's really no set topic, I guess.
No, not at all, which I think is great, by the way.
Right? Just open-ended.
Yeah. Also, give a little plug here for everyone. If there's something that you do want to talk about and we're not covering it, hit us up.
Yeah, for sure.
We're going to have Twitter. We already have Twitter.
Yeah.
Comfy Boyz, man. So we already got the Twitter. We got to get the Facebook.
The Instagram going.
Instagram. We're going to mainly at first be posting on
SoundCloud. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure this stuff out, and we got to get a host site and all that stuff. So if you know about that stuff, hit me up. I need some help.
Yeah.
RSS feed and stuff like that.
Yeah. What were some of the other things that we were talking about? We need to cover some stuff. We're missing.
And let me just go over it.
Yeah.
I
Screw
think,
it.
yeah. So
And if you hear a vibrate, that's my phone.
yeah, mute that bad boy.
It's not Serge touching me or anything.
Oh yeah, it's Breeze breathing. But anyways, yeah, the topics I had just like talk about ourselves, how we met, podcast idea, where we see this thing going, and just close it out with where people can find us and stuff like that.
I don't know. I feel like there's so much more to talk about.
Well, that's just
What
the
are we
intro.
at right now?
I don't know. It's on bars
See.
right now. I need a.
This is where Serge likes it. It's just the intro, man.
It's just the intro.
It's just the intro. Just stop.
We just need to.
But we
like
can
I just
keep
said, yeah, we can keep going. What else do you want to talk about?
Oh, here's a good one. Jobs.
What we do now?
Yeah. Yeah, what do we do? Because honestly, like, from what you do and what I do, which are
True.
two totally different things, but also have the same outcome.
What do you mean?
Because my job relies a lot on oil field
Yeah.
for extra money
Yeah.
to bring us in.
Mm-hmm.
And when oil field goes down, we have these fleet companies that don't want to get their vehicles fixed.
Mm-hmm.
They'll throw them on the side. I'm going to get too far into that.
Specific, yeah.
I'm going to get too specific before we actually talk about one or the other.
Yeah, for sure.
So we'll try and make this quick and kind of close it out. I think we've got a good start, but let's find out what you do.
Yeah, so I'm an engineer for a small family-owned oil company here in town. Mainly, everybody else in my company, they're all like superintendents, and I'm like the one petroleum engineer that kind of floats around and helps everybody out. Right now, I'm basically the drilling engineer. That kind of entails with whenever we do have a drilling program, I'm the one watching over the rig and stuff like that. And I design it for the most part, how we're going to drill and stuff like that. But right now, since like oil prices tanking, like we don't have any plans to drill this year, so just working on production of our existing wells and stuff like that.
Does that affect your pay?
No. So the company I work for, they're pretty awesome. Like even during the downturns and stuff like that, they don't let anybody go that I know of, so everybody's safe on their jobs. But
Tiger King,
you hear
right
it.
there. This is Tiger King.
I could just hear it breathing the whole time.
By the way, we're about to plug on Tiger King.
Yeah.
We just gotta watch it first.
Yeah, that's episode 2. But
we better text Chad and tell him to watch it.
Yeah.
Because if he doesn't, then he's out.
Yeah, spoiler alert. Chad's coming for episode 2, I guess.
Yeah, but no one really cares.
Yeah.
It's Chad Quinn. It's just Chad Quinn.
Yeah, I can't.
What? Are you serious?
I could do it, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, spoiler alert. If you know, you know. But
He's gonna be so mad.
I know. That's why I was like, I don't know if we should do it, but we did.
Yeah, whatever.
But yeah, so yeah, right now just working on production and our own legacy stuff and trying to keep stuff going, especially at this low oil price and stuff like that. That's just a quick overview of what I do. So
Yeah. All right. Well, no one cares. So that's not what I do. No, my job it's essential by the government.
yeah, same here. I got a letter today.
Did you?
Well, not from the government.
I was
just
going to
from
say,
my
apparently
company.
mine is not essential because we did not get a letter.
No, just from my manager saying like if we have to travel to like other states because other states are shut down.
You're supposed to be like quarantined right after that, aren't you? It's like a 2-week quarantine if you leave the state.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. It's because
I overheard sorry for stepping away from the mic. I overheard a conversation today about a guy that has to go out of town for work, and he's like, yeah, when I come back, I got to be like 2 weeks quarantine.
oh,
And I don't know. Everyone has their own opinions. And,
right. I think it's just company policy.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. No, we had a guy had to go out of town today, just to go see some other operations, another in Montana, I think, or North Dakota, and then those states are closed or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Casper's next.
So,
I mean,
Wyoming, yeah.
Well, yeah, Wyoming. Sorry.
But
Yeah, Wyoming's next.
But
We'll
yeah, they
get
have
more
to have,
into that tomorrow when we got Chad and more opinions.
next episode. But yeah, he has to have like special paperwork saying he's an essential worker and stuff like that, and he's allowed to travel. So
I actually didn't even know that. So
yeah.
But
anyway, sorry.
No, that's all right. All right, so what I do, my job is far less important, but also way more important than what Sergio does. I work at a dealership. I don't want to drop the plug in because I don't want it to seem like I'm trying to.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't really say my company name.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep it covert, but yet we're dropping first and last names and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's different. But Chad Quinn's allowed to be, because we're gonna put Chad Quinn in.
I know, but I'm just saying.
Description.
If you want to creep on him, there you go.
No pun. That was all.
Anyways.
All right, so yeah, I work at a dealership. I'm a service advisor. You come in, your car's broke. You tell me that it's broke. I write a description of it, give it to a tech. Tech yells at me because my description's not good enough.
Yeah, it's always like that.
Yeah.
And I can't read your handwriting.
No. So we don't write. We don't. It all
I'm
goes
just fucking with you.
It all goes into a computer and goes back to them. And it's sometimes, and it takes time, but it's like sometimes they don't understand that we don't do what they do. We're a customer person. Mm-hmm. And with time comes knowledge, and you kind of learn what they want. I've been out of the game for 6 years, 7 years. Been out of the game for 7 years. So, even though sometimes my brain will kind of hit where like I need to ask questions, but then sometimes even the questions aren't good enough and whatever else. But either way, like the better description that I have, the least amount of times I have to call you, and the least amount of times the tech has to come back and, get mad at me because my description's not good enough. Yeah. But we are held essential because we got to fix your car to get you to, the hospital or, the grocery store or wherever. And I personally think it's very stressful. There's a lot of hands in the basket of people that we have to make happy.
Right.
We got to make customers happy. Because customers happy, they don't come back. Mm-hmm. We got to keep techs happy, because if techs aren't happy, they're not getting enough work, then they don't want to stay.
Right.
And
then they'll just do half-ass jobs and stuff like that. And
I don't know if they'll ever do a half-ass job. I wouldn't go that far.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
Well, you're a customer mind, right? You're not in the industry. So to you, yes, you would worry that if there's somebody not happy back there.
Well, like how would I know though as a customer, you know what I mean? They wouldn't know.
So as a gearhead, would you not think like, have you ever heard the term, my car's a factory freak?
No.
You never heard that? Okay, so factory freak is like, this dude's on the line, he's putting together your car, he's like, yeah, like I just met this chick. She makes me so happy. Like everything's going right. Mm-hmm. Like life is so good. They do good work on the car. Okay. Right. And so your car runs really well. Mm-hmm. It doesn't break. It's just like your Lancer compared to the Lancer that you may know someone owns. Right. He's had this and this problem and you haven't. Right. It's all the same parts. Yeah. It's all the same parts. Why didn't they run the same? Right. Right. So then there's the idea of, okay, you got a guy, his wife just divorced him. Mm-hmm. His kids don't like him, whatever, and he's going to work trying to make a living, and he's depressed and pissed off, and he does a shitty job. Right. And so your car doesn't run as well as the next one. Right. Your car doesn't run as good as the guy that was happy that day. Mm-hmm. And so that's where the term comes from. I gotcha. That's cool though. But yeah, I mean, I enjoy where I work. It's very stressful, but we do have to make a lot of people happy, and at the expense of our own. Yeah. But I always try and put a smile on and have as much fun as I can at work, because I feel like it does kind of tone down the stress levels. Yeah, if you're having fun, then Yeah, and
it makes it go by faster anyway. So
yeah, and I'm a people pleaser, so like
yeah, facts.
being in, and this is also something that's within myself in the past. Like I was a racer. I used to, take my car to the drag strip. I had my car built for the drag strip pretty much, and as well as being street legal, and I would need stuff done to my car, things beyond my knowledge, and I would have to leave my car there.
Mm-hmm.
And you call in and you're like, "Hey, is my car done? Is this and that?" And you don't really know when your car's gonna be finished. These guys just kind of get to it when they get to it, and they do it as they want because it's privately owned shops and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I know what that feeling's like. So I really do stress myself out a lot because I want people to be happy with the service that I'm trying to give them.
Mm-hmm.
I also piss off a lot of techs,
right?
because I'm trying to get somebody's car back to them as quick as possible. Yeah. But
they should know the nature of the job. So
yeah, and it's true. But as a customer, sometimes it can be difficult to understand that, and that's okay because part of our job is to either help them understand, and they can either choose to or not.
Right.
And it just gets stressful. Mm-hmm. It's a service industry.
Yeah.
Whether you're serving people food or fixing their car, or
can't please everybody.
Can't please everybody, but you try to.
Right.
And that's what's stressful. But yeah, that's it, I think.
Yeah, I don't really have anything else to talk about.
Unless there's something that you have to ask.
What?
Yeah, there's someone there.
I was like, who are you looking at? I was like, what is going on?
But yeah, how do we close this out? Word from our sponsors?
Yeah, word from our sponsors are coming up next.
We'll be there.
But yeah, no, you can find us. I just made a Twitter, so Comfy Boyz, BOYZ, Comfy Boyz Pod. That's the Twitter handle, and that'll be our SoundCloud handle as well. So, and then you can find our Twitters there, and then I'll make profiles and link everything else. So, I think that's it.
Yeah, I would say so. Sorry, I'm Snapchatting, and I kind of pulled it out a little too late.
Yeah, no worries.
But yeah, hit us up. Let us know if there's something you want to talk about, something you want to hear, if you even want on the show. I mean, obviously, starting out, we're kind of open right now. So.
Yeah, we got nothing else going on, so we got time. But yeah, thanks for listening, guys.
All right, thanks for listening. We'll
Comfy
see you guys
boys.
later. Comfy Boys.